The gentleman is recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. A year ago today, when we recessed for the August break, there were some of us who stayed here on the House floor and continued to talk about energy and American independence in energy. Eventually, the powers that be turned out most of the lights, turned off the microphone, turned off the cameras, but we talked on that Friday, and then we continued to talk through most of the month of August, even though a formal session did not occur. And we talked about the need to be energy independent. Now we've gone a year from that. And what has happened in that 1 year? Well, things have only gotten worse as far as energy independence has gone. Let me give you one example. In 2008, at this time, in the United States proper, we had 1,808 rigs drilling for crude oil and natural gas. A year later, we only have 1,128. So that means 680 rigs fewer now than we did a year ago producing oil and natural gas. What has happened? Well, things have only gotten worse. We have, or this body passed barely legislation to punish energy consumption by the cap and tax bill, which means that if you use energy in this country, natural gas, electricity, you use gasoline, you're going to have to pay more down the road. Hopefully the Senate will not pass this legislation. And we have fewer rigs, and we are not more independent, we're more dependent. And who are we dependent on? We're dependent on countries who hate us. Some countries in the Middle East, some countries that we know and we have heard that are actually the money that we spend on crude oil that we send them finds its way to people who don't like America and funds their organizations. Why do we continue to do that? Because we don't take care of ourselves. We hear about clean energy and we all want to go to alternative energy, but we're not there yet, Mr. Speaker. We need to do the simple things. We need to use and drill for our own natural gas and our own crude oil. And we can do that in the United States, in ANWR. We can do that offshore. And that keeps the money in the United States. It produces jobs for Americans. And don't send those jobs overseas. It keeps our oil companies and our natural gas companies in the United States. It's a good thing for America. But because of the fear lobby, we're afraid to drill for natural gas and crude oil, and that is a mistake because it can be done safely, and it should be done safely. The places that we drill offshore, it's been proven that it can be done safely, and we should continue to do that. So a year from now, hopefully we won't be in a worse situation dependent on foreign countries for our own energy. We should do the obvious. Take care of America. Drill safely. Drill anywhere that we have natural gas or crude oil and help bring energy back home to America, furnish jobs, keep that money in the United States, and quit sending it overseas to people who don't even like the United States. And that's just the way it is. I'll yield back.
The gentleman yields back. Gentlewoman from California.